I'm calling this recording Lesson 4B because I want to explain a little bit more about English opera, Purcell, and the German opera composer Handel that moved to England, bringing along Italian opera. And I also want to discuss all the differences between these two arias with you. So differences can be language, it can be the mood. Are they both sad? Both in English? Who it was intended for? So let's read here about Dido's lament. It was by no means certain that Dido and Aeneas would have a long career. In fact, Purcell composed his opera for a girls' boarding school. So you also have to now find out whether Handel composed this also for a school, or was this for a bigger event, where it was to be performed by amateurs to a modest libretto. So find the difference between this one and the Handel aria. Despite that, whether it was because of its dramatic intensity, the themes it deals with, sense of duty because Aeneas had to leave, and self-denial, he doesn't allow himself to fall in love, or its music, Dido and Aeneas laid the foundation for English opera and is today ranked among the most popular British lyrical works. Now let's look at the story. The Roman legend of the Trojan warrior Aeneas is traveling to Italy from the betrayed and fallen Troy in order to settle there and secure his son Ascanius' lineage. Their ship is blown off course from Sicily and they land on the shore of North Africa in Carthage, a town newly settled by refugees from Tyre. Aeneas falls in love with a queen, Dido, but dutifully departs for Italy, leaving her behind. Distraught at his betrayal, she orders a pyre to be built and set ablaze so that Aeneas will see from his ship that she has killed herself. She sings the lament before stabbing herself as Aeneas sails on. So this is based on mythology, and I want you to compare it with the Handel to see whether that is also based on mythology. And we have a female, a queen, Dido, singing this aria. So compare that with the Handel and see whether that's also a female singing that, or is that a male role. So let's listen now and follow the score. So this is the recitative. The basso continues only. Secco. You hear it secco, it's very dry. So I want you to discuss this recitative, secco, dry. And here we start with the aria. And there I hear the ground bass. And while she sings, we see the ground bass carrying on. So only have strings and the basso continue. Music is repeated. The orchestra never doubles the melody. There I have the ground bass carrying on. You see those chromatic notes there. So it's completely different in the orchestration. You see that ground bass carrying on. Still have the ground bass carried on there. So they have completely different material, the soloist and the orchestra. Still have the ground bass throughout the whole aria. So we have this pattern over and over. So this is not a da capo aria. It's based on that ground bass. And it's in a minor key, it's in G minor, so it's quite sad. The opening recitative of Secco, Die Hand Belinda, is accompanied by continue only. Word painting is applied on the text darkness and death, which is presented with chromaticism, symbolic of death. So all those chromatic notes, okay? And there I see the ground bass, as in your Cambridge book. You see that that ground bass. I have this a lot in the recitative and the aria. The aria opens with a descending chromatic fourth line, the ground bass, which is repeated 11 times throughout the aria. Henry Purcell has applied word painting on the word laid, which is also given a descending chromatic line portraying death and agony. So you see how it goes down, as if she goes down into her grave. Remember me, which is presented in a syllabic text setting and repeated. So why do I repeat a word? To stress it. Remember me. Remember me. Syllabic and also melismatic. I've got one syllable per note. And then I also have that dramatic moment where she goes higher at the end with a sudden crescendo, and then decrescendo towards the end, displaying her desperate cry with urgency as she prepares for her fate, death. Okay, so we have this sad romance going on here. Now let's look at the story of Dovese. A disguised Bertarido appears at his own tomb and reads the inscription. He reflects upon the hollow splendor of man's ambitions in a long accompanied recitative, Pompe Vane. So you can go and listen to this. We're not going to do that. Longing for Rodelinda, he sings this meltingly beautiful aria, Dovese, declaring that only in her presence can he find consolation for his sorrow. I think there's a different theme here. This is more a love song. He's not going to commit suicide. And we're also going to discover that this is a da capo aria that we've done previously, where the A section and the B section is written out, and then I have the word fine, and when the A section is repeated, it's up to the singer to put in the ornamentation and the embellishments. So let's listen to this aria. So that's the end of the recitative, and now it's going to move into the aria. Also strings and basso continuo. The orchestra is more involved with a melody in between. Different character. Only with a harpsichord. The strings are not playing with the B section. And there we see the dal segno, meaning that I have to start from the beginning until I have the word fine. So let's hear whether he is ornamenting the music. Hear how he ornaments that. I'm going to stop this here. You can also go onto YouTube and listen to this. So let's look at your assignment. So you listened to Dido's Lament and to Dove Sei from Handel. Note down all the differences and also the similarities you discover between these two pieces. So what you can discuss is the differences or the similarities between the language, the performers. So was it composed for school kids, for orchestra members, more professional, the orchestra and instruments, the mood, the story, and the form. So I think you understand this a little bit better now.